Greetings and salutations, people of the internet. This is Master RBG, and I think it's long overdue for another rant video, don't you? Well, with all these new trailers for Pokemon Sun and Moon coming out, Pokemon has been on my brain a lot. And it got me thinking back to something a buddy of mine and I once talked about. See, a long time ago, a buddy of mine predicted that we would have around 1,000 Pokemon by 2020. He actually mathematically figured it out, based on how many monsters we were given each generation. This would have been around back in, the days of 3rd to 4th generation. Anywho, were it not for a couple generations coming up a little short, I'm looking at you, Gen 6, this would be about right, actually. In all honesty, we're probably still going to see over 900 by that point in time anyway. But with so many Pokemon out there, it makes me think about other aspects of the games that could be changed to better accommodate and utilize them to better effect. And that's when it hit me. Time! Considering we have not one, but 2 different Pokemon that deal with time, it's a little ironic that time itself is an underutilized aspect of the Pokemon games. So far, we've had real-world hours and minutes, day and night cycles, days of the week, and even seasons. Heck, if you add in months, we're nearly done with an Animal Crossing Pokemon crossover, am I right? Okay, just kidding about that last part. Or, sort of. Speaking of Animal Crossing, those games deal with time in a way that could easily be translated into a future Pokemon game. The availability of fish and bugs to collect differ depending on season in those games, and there's quite a hefty variety to collect. Maybe not Pokemon levels of variety, but still a pretty hefty variety nonetheless. Now, Pokemon tried adding seasonal variety in Generation 5, but all we really got were they added some ice types during winter, and a deer that changed its appearance each season. What a colossal waste of potential. Now that we're growing ever closer to having 1,000 Pokemon, it's time to spice things up. We can do way better than adding a few ice types during winter. Heck, we can even expand upon the lore from the Pokédex while we're at it. We can have a sleepaway camp in-game, and during the summer there, Drowsies or Hypnos can show up outside the kids' cabins after lights out. We can have an old abandoned building area that becomes infested with ghosts at night during the fall. And that's not even touching on stuff like realistic animal behaviors that could be incorporated into these games. When we open up the possibility of realistic animal behaviors being reflected by their Pokemon counterparts, it helps the Pokemon world feel more alive, more fleshed out. We can have the bird Pokemon fly south for the winter. We can have an increase of flower and butterfly related Pokemon in the spring. We can have the bear Pokemon, minus Cubchoo and Bear Arctic of course, hibernate in caves during the winter. In summer, we should be able to find all manner of bug types and maybe even see the lightning bug Pokemon, Illumise and Volbeat, flying around at night. Now, I'll admit, this would all be pretty sweet if Game Freak and Nintendo added this into the Pokemon series. But I'm well aware that it's way too late for it to be incorporated into Sun and Moon. Not to mention seasons wouldn't really work well on a series of tropical islands anyway. But it's not too late for this stuff to be added to Gen 7 altogether. We still have the Generation 4 remakes for Diamond and Pearl, and that was one of the 2 Pokemon generations that made pretty good use of time in its original incarnation, so adding more time-related elements wouldn't be too much of a stretch. And thanks to a recent interview, we're now aware that the Pokemon series will show up on the Nintendo NX, Nintendo's yet-to-be-released console portable hybrid system, and that gives us all the more hope for maybe getting these changes implemented into the series. I'm really looking forward to it if they ever do. How about you guys? If you have more suggestions about stuff that could probably be added dealing with time in the future, hey, post it down in the comments. Let me see what you got. If you enjoy this, hey, throw a like my way. If you'd like to see more of my nonsense in the future, why not hit that subscribe button? Anywho, that does it for me this week, guys. This is Master RBG, signing off.